friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Mary McKay here with you. I am so happy to have you here today. But first, let me ask, do you ever feel tired? I mean, not just tired, but like exhausted tired. And no matter how much sleep you get, you still feel tired. That right there is your soul being exhausted and it needs to be restored. And you know what? I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you're just so tired and you can't get the sleep that you need. And you know, it's sort of like the weight of the world is just weighing on your shoulders. But the good news is that God can restore your soul. So let's dive in on a couple of things to remember and some Bible verses that can help when your soul is tired and it needs restoration. So I just mentioned a second ago, the weight of the world weighing on your shoulders. And you know, I feel like in today's time, with everything that's always going on in the world and how everything is constantly changing, I mean, not to mention even like your own personal things that are going on in your life, I catch myself personally saying, I can rest once work gets over for the day, or once I finish this project, I can rest, or once I get all of this laundry that's been piling up, I can rest. And you know, you might be catching yourself saying, well, once the baby sleeps through the night, I can rest. Or once the mortgage is paid off, I can rest. Or once we retire, we can rest. And see, we are all facing these challenges and these everyday battles in our life. And we're all have this longing and this desire for our hearts and our souls to have rest because our souls are tired. And let's be real, sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes life can be hard and it can really start to weigh on you, eventually leading you to feeling exhausted, to feeling tired, and maybe even hopeless. And as a result of feeling tired and feeling hopeless and helpless, you know, we take breaks, we eat, we sleep, we take vitamins, hoping all of these measures are going to help our bodies get refreshed and energized. But again, sometimes our tiredness and the longing for rest is not always physical. It's spiritual. It is a spiritual thing. And I mean, the Bible tells us that our souls get tired and they need rest. And if you're feeling like that right now in your life, I want you to remember this verse found in Matthew 11:28. And it says, "Come to me, all you wearied and burdened, and I will give you the rest." And you know, the one thing that I really love about this verse is that Jesus was speaking to a crowd of people 2,000 years ago who were in just as much need for rest as we are today. And see, Jesus can bring comfort and rest in your life right now, just like he did 2,000 years ago. All you have to do is come to him. It's just like the verse says, "Come to me, all who are wearied and burdened." You just have to come to him. You have to trust in him. You have to trust his power, his might, and his ability to experience this strength, direction, and protection. See, rest is truly found when we take a moment and recognize how much we truly need Jesus in our lives. And we ask him to carry those burdens that have been weighing us down for way too long. And you know, I do think that sometimes it can be very frustrating. It can be very upsetting when all of these like trials of life come out of nowhere. And it's like the ground is already so shaky and you think that you can't handle one more thing. And then boom, suddenly out of the blue, you got one more thing on your plate. And you're saying, okay, if it's not one thing, it's another thing. And you know, you're just so tired. You've already been ran ragged. The to-do list is just getting longer. It seems like it's never gonna end. And you got all of these things piling up on your plate. And like that relief that you're looking for, the rest, like it's no longer in sight at this point. And in that moment, it's so easy to feel fed up, to feel frustrated, to feel anger, maybe to even feel a little forgotten by God, because in that moment, our faith is being tested. And sometimes it feels like the faith that we thought we had is really not everything that we thought it was. And maybe the faith that we had is just not enough. And this really makes me think about the time when God commanded Moses to save his people from slavery in Egypt. See, the Israelites never thought that finding freedom would last 40 years wandering through the desert, or that it would even be so hard. Like us, they were like probably under the impression that like it would be a more easier journey. But see, God had a plan all along. God took them through 40 years in the wilderness to teach them a very valuable lesson. See, he had to teach them to be truly, truly dependent on God. And eventually he did lead them to the land that he promised. And in the Bible, in Jeremiah 31, this is where the Lord is referencing to that time. And he said, the people who survived the sword found grace in the wilderness. When Israel sought for rest, the Lord appeared to him from far away. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And this reminds me that God hears your cries for rest and for deliverance. And he will come and rescue you. And he will provide you with rest just like he did for the Israelites. And even though their journey was long and it was hard and it lasted for years, and it never seemed like they were going to eventually find the rest that they were promised years ago. But God kept his promises. See, God had to work on their hearts first before he could deliver them to the promised land. And if you feel like you're walking through the wilderness alone and you're tired, you're worn out, and you're longing for rest, just remember that God's not impatient with you. He has not forgotten about you, that he is with you during this season of exhaustion. He is working in your life right now. And you may not always be able to tell it, and you may not always be able to feel it and see exactly what's going on, but he is working in your life right now. And God wants you to see that he is the one who endures you. He is the one who keeps you going. And he is the only one who can bring rest to your tired soul. It doesn't matter what you read on social media or what kind of vitamins you take or what you eat. All of that stuff is great. But the one who can truly, truly bring rest to your soul is Jesus Christ himself. That is it. The Lord himself is the only person who can bring rest to your tired souls. So make sure to cling to him during this time. Come to him just like he said in Matthew. Come to me, all who are wearied and burdened, and he will give you rest. Cling to him during this time. Call out to God in prayer and ask him to help you carry these burdens that are weighing you down, because you can't do it yourself. You need his help. You need the Lord's guidance. You need the Lord's help, and he will give you rest. So I really hope today that this message has inspired you, that it has encouraged you to really just reach out again and just to cling to God for restoration for your tired soul. He is the one who can give rest to your tired soul. And during this time, again, continue to pray that God's going to work on your heart and give you the strength that you need to continue to walk through this journey of life. So yeah, I hope this has encouraged you and inspired you. And make sure to comment below your thoughts on this and how you cling to God during this time when your soul needs rest and some things that you do. I would just love to connect with you. I would just love to talk to you. So make sure to comment below. And if you haven't done it, like this video, subscribe to this channel. You can even press the little bell button so you'll be notified on all the videos coming out and everything that we're doing. So like, subscribe, press the bell button. A lot of good things are happening on this channel. I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm so glad you're watching. If this is your first time coming across Positive Talks with Mary, again, I'm so happy to have you here today. I hope that this message today was exactly what you needed in your life. And make sure to share it with your friends and family, because there's so many people out there whose souls are so tired. They're so exhausted and they can't keep going down this path, and they might need to hear this and get the word out that God can bring rest to their tired souls. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back here soon with another video.